All right. Listen. Yeah, the title and the thumbnail are a little bit dramatic. I understand, but now that I got your attention, just hear me out for a couple minutes, okay? And listen to the damn video before you post in the comments. What is up, guys? DJ Eastwood here. This is Run It Back. As always, hit that subscribe button if you like talking Philly sports every day, because that's what I do. Hit the little bell next to that if you want post notifications for me to get you to get notified every time I make a video. Listen, the Warriors basically said that they believe the best thing they can get for D'Angelo Russell is Ben Simmons. Okay. Now, it's been known, and it's becoming more clear, that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid have a rough time playing on the court together because they're two separate style of players. Joel Embiid needs guards, needs a point guard at the top of the key, needs shooters around the outside, needs his space in the paint. Ben Simmons will not shoot from outside, so he has to get in the paint, and he kind of needs Joel Embiid to get the hell out of his way. And then, of course, we added Al Horford to the mix, Tobias Harris, who in a perfect world is a power forward. So we have two power forwards and two centers on the floor, and that not making sense at all, I've said a million times in other videos. But I do predict that Sixers' problem, it's a blessing and a curse to have these two guys, but it's going to come down to basically you're going to have to make a decision at some point. This, to me, to my eyes, I'm just saying to me, doesn't work. These two guys can't play together unless Ben Simmons gets an outside shot and gives Joel Embiid space in the paint. But to my eyes, it's not working, okay? And it's going to come down to getting rid of one of them. It's going to come down to splitting it up and deciding to build the team around one of these guys. Now, will it happen before the trade deadline this season? Absolutely not. I don't even know if it would happen this offseason. Basically, if the Sixers don't go as far in the playoffs this year as they went last year, Brett Brown will be fired. They will try a different coach, a different philosophy. They'll probably move the Al Horford contract because Elton Brand's realizing that was a horrible mistake. Yes, oh my God, what are we going to do? We need a backup center. Yeah, you don't need one for $100 million, okay? They might move the Tobias Harris contract if they can because, let's be honest, he's not really the combo guard that Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid needs around. He's kind of a post player a lot of times. He's a power forward, man. I mean, he can shoot outside, but I mean, it's just these guys don't fit together. All right. So let's just say if in the offseason you would decide, okay, we got to build around one of these guys. This ain't going to work. We might as well make the decision right freaking now instead of wasting a bunch of time to do it. And you decide that Ben Simmons is who you're going to trade. It's hypothetical. I'm not saying I want to trade him. What I personally think is, it racks my brain actually because if I had to make the decision, I would probably just jump off a bridge because I can't make the decision on keeping Embiid or Simmons. And I can talk about that in a couple minutes. But if you would decide Ben Simmons is the one you're going to trade, the perfect trade would be D'Angelo Russell. It just would be. The guy would complement Joel Embiid perfectly. A deep threat shooter who brings the defense outside the three-point line. A world-class ball handler. Okay. A pick-and-roll maestro. Some people refer to him as the best young pick-and-roll player in the NBA. All right, and if you don't know what I'm talking about and you haven't watched much D'Angelo Russell, just go watch a highlight tape, okay? The guy knows how to run the pick and roll. He makes the defense work. He brings the defense to him. He's a triple threat outside, can get past his defender, can make a lot of things happen. I'm not saying he's better than Ben Simmons at basketball. It's obvious. Most people know that Ben Simmons is the better player with the higher upside, has a potential to be an NBA superstar. D'Angelo Russell is a 23-year-old all-star point guard that would complement Joel Embiid. Okay, now, would you trade Ben Simmons straight up for him? I don't think so. I don't think you would do that. You say, nah, bro. Like, listen, Ben is way better than D'Angelo Russell, has way higher upside and potential. We're not doing that. But if the Warriors were bold enough to throw in their first-round pick this season, which has the potential to be number 1, then you're getting a pick-and-roll maestro, sharp-shooting 23-year-old point guard and possibly the number 1 pick in the draft. So you complement Joel Embiid with D'Angelo Russell and you get the number 1 pick in the draft? That's a tough one. Now, you also got to think about this. If you would trade Ben Simmons to the Warriors, they would win a championship, and you know they would. You would be handing them a championship. Ben Simmons, especially if they played him at the small ball 5, Ben Simmons on the Warriors? Running the floor, getting in the paint, and passing the ball to the 2 best three-point shooters in the history of basketball? Bro, come on. And if you played him at the small ball 5, there's no center in his way. You just put other shooters around. I mean, then you're talking about his defensive ability and Draymond Green's defensive ability. Maybe Draymond at the 4, Ben at the 5. That's a super fast lineup. And you just have 2 of the best three-point shooters of all time around them. And you got Ben, Draymond, and Klay Thompson, who are all elite on-ball defenders. So if you would do that as the Sixers, and even if you believe D'Angelo Russell paired with Joel Embiid gives you the best opportunity to get to the NBA Finals, you would basically be setting yourself up to play against Ben Simmons and the 2 best three-point shooters of all time, and you would get beat in the NBA Finals 5 years in a row. So it's not an easy thing to even think about, but you guys can let me know in the comments what you think. Would you do that trade if that came up this offseason? Another prediction of mine is that, we don't want to trade either one of these guys this offseason. Maybe we'll fire the coach, try a different philosophy and all that stuff, get rid of some bad contracts, try to move Al Horford, all that stuff, and try again next season with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. That's nice. But what I do predict also is that Joel Embiid is going to request a trade. You can see it in his mannerisms, in the way that he talks, his frustrations. He does not like playing with Ben Simmons anymore. You can see it. He's now called him out publicly twice, begging him to shoot the ball from the outside. Please help me. Give me space in the paint, Ben. I need you to shoot. Joel Embiid is not going to play his whole career with a point guard who won't shoot. It's going to come to the point where he says, hey, man, trade him or trade me because I need certain guys around me, and that's not the one I need around me. And he's not totally wrong. But if he does request a trade, then obviously you would trade Joel Embiid, right? And what could you get for him? That's another topic, but you would then build around Ben Simmons as the point forward Giannis type player, put a bunch of shooters around him and see where you go from there. But this roster construction right now does not complement either one of those 2 players because there's not enough shooters in space for Ben Simmons. There's not enough shooters in space for Joel Embiid. I love Tobias Harris, but it's becoming more and more clear that he isn't complemented by this roster construction either. He needs a certain style of roster around him, and Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons don't seem to really fit together. It's clunky and awkward a lot of times. There's not a lot of flow to the offense, whatever. And that's a big contract. Al Horford contract is horrible. I've already said that a million times. Not saying Al Horford's not valuable, but a $100 million backup center is not exactly the way to improve your basketball team. So anyway, give me your thoughts on a possible D'Angelo Russell and Ben Simmons trade. I know it's far-fetched. I know it's out there, but people are talking about it. And, anything's possible in this NBA, man. Who the hell knows, Let's talk about some more realistic trade targets that could happen this season. Listed on Twitter today was, let me say this. Let me prepare myself to say this. Listed on Twitter today was, hold on. All right, let me try again. Listed on Twitter today was Robert Covington. Whew, that was hard to get out. Would we trade for Robert Covington? Now, our weakness right now is shooting. Everybody knows it. All the players that are listed as targets are shooters. Robert Covington, I can't give a fair assessment of the guy. I never liked him. He's not good. He's a good long arm, quick hands, deflection guy. He's not really even that good of an on-ball defender if you really watch him. And he's not a great three-point shooter either. He's not 42, 43%. He's not J.J. Redick status. So his offense, his defense, and his offense don't even complement each other. He's like a 37% three-point shooter. You can kind of get that anywhere. You don't have to deal with the awkwardness of Robert Covington again. Please, Sixers, do not do this to me. I don't want to watch Robert Covington play basketball again in Philadelphia. Because, you know, catch and shoot, yeah. On-ball defense, whatever. But as soon as he has to dribble the ball or try to pass it, it's a disaster. He can't even make a wide-open layup. I mean, the guy is just a boneheaded play waiting to happen every time he touches the ball. I never liked him. Him and Isaiah Cannon were running around chucking threes up when we were tanking, and that's how they both got trade value. That's all I'm going to say about Robert Covington. Davis Bertans. Is that how you say? If that's not how you say his name, let me know in the comments. Whatever, man. Davis Bertans, yeah, the big white guy that destroyed us when we played the Wizards. He scored 35 points on 7 of 8 from 3. He looked like Klay Thompson in that game anyway. And then we played him again and he went 0 for 7. But big, 6'10", 6'11", I think, power forward, big time shooter. I like him. You can run him at the 4. You can get your second center on the bench, like where he should be. But what would you have to give up to get Davis Bertans? That is something that obviously we need to look into a little more. But I like Davis Bertans. I would like him on this team without moving Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. Let's look at more blockbuster-ish trades. Yeah, I said blockbuster-ish. C.J. McCollum. That was one that came up a little while ago. Could we get C.J. McCollum without getting rid of Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid? Now, that's a good scenario if you ask me. If you would play Ben Simmons at the 4, still try for another year to get him to shoot a corner 3 at least, Joel Embiid at the 5, and put a guard up top, C.J. McCollum, now you have a triple threat scoring, ball handling guard who can shoot from deep at the top, and your roster is a lot more balanced. But what would you need to give up to get C.J. McCollum? I think you would have to give up Al Horford, maybe some draft picks. Of course, I don't know if the Trailblazers even want Al Horford's contract, but that would balance the Trailblazers team a little better as they've been trying to force 2 guards and nobody else for like 5 years now. People keep bringing up Chris Paul. Chris Paul would be perfect for this team. He would be absolutely perfect for this team. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons could be DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. Not the same style players, obviously, but with Chris Paul running the pick and roll at the top of the key, those players could flourish. A great point guard would bring the best out of both players. I honestly believe that. But Chris Paul makes $45 million a year, something ridiculous. And you're probably not going to do that. You would have to wait until Ben Simmons' max contract comes into effect to trade him for Chris Paul, but you're not going to trade Ben Simmons for a 34-year-old point guard either, so I definitely do not see the Chris Paul trade happening. Drew Holiday. The Pelicans put it out there a couple weeks ago that Drew Holiday was available. I would love Drew Holiday. I would absolutely love Drew Holiday on this team. He's a combo guard. A point guard, but a combo guard, which would allow Ben Simmons to play point forward to his fullest potential. Drew can play off the ball. Drew can handle the ball, run pick and rolls. Ben can be the screener and the roller. We've seen that a lot more often recently as Brett Brown becomes more and more frustrated, trying new things. Ben has been setting screens for Josh Richardson and rolling to the rim, which has been pretty effective, even though Josh Richardson is not a point guard and isn't even very good at running a pick and roll or making the decision off of the screen or, shooting the ball off of the screen or anything like that. Josh Richardson's a combo guard that just needs to be in a certain role. He should not be running the offense from the top of the key either. Drew Holiday would do that perfectly if you had to give up Josh Richardson or you had to give up Tobias Harris or you had to give up Al Horford. Dream scenario would be to give up Al Horford, but if the Pelicans wanted Tobias Harris and they were willing to take on that contract to give us Drew Holiday, I would do that right now. So those are my thoughts on the Sixers trade rumors that I've been seeing in the past couple of days. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching. My name is DJ Eastwood. This is Run It Back. Hit that subscribe button if you like talking Philly sports every day. Sixers and Celtics tonight. Joel Embiid's out with his dislocated finger, which people are talking crap about in some of these Sixers Facebook groups. Obviously, you idiots never played basketball before. The dude, you see his finger was completely sideways, bro. Yeah, they snapped it back in and taped it in the moment. It's fine. He probably woke up the next day and this thing was probably this freaking wide. Dude, you ever do that to your finger? Now his finger's swollen and jacked up. He's probably going to be out for 2 weeks. It's not because he's soft. Did you just see the injury? It was horrible. Anyway, Joel Embiid's out. Hopefully that means Ben Simmons is more aggressive or continues his aggressive streak. Hopefully, this is what I want to say about tonight's game. Hopefully, Joel Embiid being out means that Brett Brown gets some sense and plays Al Horford at the center and runs a smaller lineup with more shooters on the floor. Are we getting Matisse Thybulle back tonight? I hope so. Matisse plays tonight. It's a different story. We're 12-1 when he plays more than 15 minutes, so Brett needs to play him. But the last time Joel Embiid was out, we got ran out of the building by the Pacers. And we did so because Brett Brown decided to play Kyle O'Quinn and Al Horford together on the floor. And that's by far, of all the things I've seen Brett Brown do, that's the dumbest coaching decision I've seen him do. Tonight, if Brett Brown says, oh, Joel Embiid's out, Al Horford's a power forward, so I'm going to play Kyle O'Quinn at center, I'm going to lose my mind, dude. I'm going to lose my mind, okay? Brett, just keep it simple, all right? Play Al Horford at the center. Let Ben Simmons have all the space in the paint. Let him drive and kick. Put the shooters on the floor. Run Trey Burke alongside him a lot of the time. Give Trey Burke the pick and roll handling. Let Trey Burke and Ben Simmons pick and roll would be beautiful. There's a lot of things that can happen here that Brett Brown still hasn't done. And you need to experiment with these next couple games of Joel Embiid being out. Thank you guys for watching. My name is DJ Eastwood. This is Run It Back. Peace!